Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders seeing what's current. Iggy. Got yourself in some issues, lady. We know that you lust for the dark flesh of the male specimen. We are aware of that. We know that you had Playboy Cardi and other figures between your sheets and chopping those cakes down. But this is a Tory Lanez case. This is the Megan Thee Stallion case that dragged on for months and months and was finally found guilty. He's a convict. He was convicted. And now he awaits sentencing. And it appears as though you had the intention of only sending letters to the judge, which it shows a bit of naivete that you would even say that you said that you intend for these letters to not be released to the public, when in fact it would probably be public record. So for you, young lady, is an open letter to you. Speaking of letters, you should have had more sense. You should have had more clarity in your thinking. You should have had more sensibility. You've written that most people. You didn't. I don't think you named Tory Lanez by name. You said that prison time should be rehabilitative. People shouldn't be locked away for decades and decades for their faults. Tory Lanez is going to get at least 5 years. He may get up to 15 years. Who knows what the judge is going to say? He may get, parole time. He may be eligible for parole. He'll probably be on parole for at least 5 years, something like that. But for you to say something like that, for you to say, I thought those letters were going. She apparently, you apparently wrote 70 plus letters to Tory Lanez during the time he was locked up, and the time he's still locked up. Actually, he was convicted. Well, he's not locked up now. I think he's on bail. Actually, but he's either still locked up. I think he's still locked up though. I think he still is locked up. Yeah, let me make sure of that. But you have stated some claims that point to how you found yourself in this is according to allhiphop.com, in the ongoing legal drama involving Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Many critics blasted Azalea for reportedly still backing Lanez despite the Canadian musician's guilty verdict. So that puts you in a position of saying that even though you said, I'm not supporting anyone, you're still supporting him in a way. You're still backing him. You're still giving him some kind of moral support in a sense. And the way that you have crafted a story to bring to the masses, that you didn't even expect, or allegedly, that you didn't want, anyone but the judge to see. It just goes to show you how, I think you're out of touch. Like you still want, the black man in your life and, doing the wild thing with him. And this probably extended to Tory Lanez, but you never fully expressed it to him. But you wrote these letters. And these letters, indicate to an extent that you're in fact supporting him. Respect to Kareem TV. Hey, Mr. Saunders, they said, hey, respect the target. $20. Salute to you. Thank you for joining. And how did you know that I was on the air? Let me know how you knew, because I come on the air usually around 8 o'clock, 7 or 8. Let me know what time how you found me on live. But getting back to Iggy, it's looking real slippery. You know, Megan Thee Stallion's not having any of your words. She's not going to take anything you say, anything about what Tory Lanez did to her, because I can't even say allegedly anymore. He was convicted, so it's what Tory Lanez did, despite what he may contest. It's what he actually, what actually transpired between he and Megan the Stallion. I always want to say the, but it's just like so many others that have uh, a bit of maybe I don't know, maybe it's like the battered wife that still wants to keep saying, oh, he's not gonna be bad anymore, he's gonna change, we're gonna work it out, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be fine, like that kind of thing. That's what it feels like for me. I'm getting those vibes from you, Iggy. That kind of sensibility, that kind of sentiment. And it just seems as though you're not really responding to the fact that you're totally committed to what you said. It was laid out. I go to another source and we'll find that it's a totally different situation. She's saying, Iggy, you're saying that you didn't side with anyone and your beliefs go deeper than who's right in the case. Well, what are your beliefs? You believe in the the unknown and unknowable? What do you believe in? So, I mean, this is it. This is what she tweeted. For the record, I have not been in touch with Tory for months. I have no reason to be, but I do wish him well. You're wishing a convict well, okay? I don't support, quote unquote, anyone. The whole thing is full of oddities. My letter never mentioned anything in regard to what happened that night. So that's what she, was trying to point out. But she's written letters, even though she's not talking about the incident that occurred. She wrote those letters regardless. 70 letters you wrote, Miss Iggy Azalea. I'm going back and forth with the audience and you. I'm going back and forth. See what's up. So, it just, and there's another, she continues. She says, I was told this was this quote, I was told this was for a judge only. It is being discussed in public. I never intended to publicly comment. 4. I'm not in support of throwing away anyone's life. We can give reasonable punishments that are rehabilitative instead. That's the word. That's a mouthful. I support prison reform. Period. 5.5. I was asked to write about my genuine experiences and the type of punishment I think he deserves. I did. It's not really that interesting, but I understand why it's being sensationalized. See you next week to discuss pizza toppings and I suppose LL. See, she's trying to make light of a situation where she found herself mired in controversy. You find yourself in controversy, lady. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're a lady too. You just be a female. I don't know, but it seems to me that you don't have a clue. You don't have a DJ clue. Drop a bomb on that. But no, it just seems to me that there's a definite distance in reality in your statements, Iggy Azalea. It seems to me that you don't have the proper understanding of what it means to be on the side of right. I can understand what you're saying with the rehabilitative stance on prisons. I mean, there is some truth to that. People that have crimes that weren't violent, that weren't part of serious issues or major major issues, like if you just committed fraud or tax fraud or something like that. I understand that maybe 5-10 years, something like that, get you and then bounce back into reality, to the world, to the real world. Because some people don't live in the real world. Some people live in jail and just come out into the real world from time to time. So I hope you know that, Iggy. I hope you can realize that. I hope you understand the fact that this man has committed a crime under the eyes of the law. He can challenge that all he wants. He can petition and say he has the right to say, I want to say that I'm innocent and everything like that. But at this point in time, he's convicted. He's a convict, and he's probably going to be able to go to jail. He's probably in. If he's in jail, he's in jail right now. He's gonna know how to walk dogs and do yoga and build puzzles and go to writing workshops and have famous authors come through and teach the prisoners how to write their feelings. You know, that's what's most likely going to happen. It's going to be an issue where you will continue to be looked at as someone associated with controversy rather than the music you make. Sadly, you should be considered one of the few female rappers in the game, that a white woman rapper at that, that is trying to make a difference and trying to save the genre, or some people call it the culture, from being washed away, even as the 50th anniversary of its inception is upon us in just a few days. So that's what I want to get down to, young lady. You have everything going for you. You got money, you got fame. You you didn't have to get tangled up in this. I don't understand why you're really trying to go on and on about this when there's so many other issues in the world where you could have addressed. And this is another quote from a source, allhiphop.com. In particular, many people pointed out the possible hypocrisy from Azalea because she previously made statements about violent male abusers. She publicly chastised her ex-boyfriend, Atlanta rapper Playboy Cardi, for allegedly abusing women. This stems from quote, Judge Hereford got 70 plus letters of support for Tory Lanez, including one from Iggy Azalea. So she had at least one letter, out of the 70 letters that the judge received. Posted and further more. Judge Hereford said Iggy Azalea's letters asked him to impose a sentence that is transformational, not life destroying. So what is she? Why does she even care? Why do you even care, Iggy? I'm talking to you now. Why do you care? Why does that matter to you? What happens to Tory Lanez? Because you want to get some midnight loving on a Friday night from Mr. Lanez when he gets out? Is that the case? You let me know. I would like to know the reason why you sent him the letter and expected it not to be read in the public, even though that's this is a very public case. There's nothing going to be seen as private. Tory Lanez is probably going to get at least 5 to 10 years, like I said, maybe 15, could be, depending on whatever the judge says. Again, and with you wanting to be coddle, I guess, the male figure, the black man, or you may be trying to, in your mind, sticking up for him, but in reality, it seems like you're coddling. You're like you're mental breastfeeding a convict, somebody that did something terrible to another human being, Megan Thee Stallion. That's what it gets to. That's why it's so important to realize what you're doing. It's so important to understand what it is that you're making known to the world. What you're making known. And I have to break right now for a little bit of a uh, advertisement. Subscribe to at Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Tell them I sent you. All right, back to the show. You can read it in the comment section. Subscribe to at Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Tell them I sent you. All right, back to you, Iggy. Iggy. You got yourself in a world of controversy right now. You got backlash now. The mammies are really going to come at you now. White and black mammies, they're going to be coming at your neck. Saying, you can't ride with Tory Lanez. You can't say anything positive in his way. You can't say anything about him. You can't do that. That's not part of the code, whatever women code you may have. That's probably anathema to everything you stand for, Iggy, what they're saying. So what you have, shown in your positioning is the fact that you're still immature. You're an immature young lady, young female. You're 33 years old. You're just 2 years younger than me, but you're still immature. Some people are still mature at that age, at past 30, past 40, past 50. Their body grows, but their mind stays stagnant. It remains the same. It remains in a child's form, or a teen's form, or a very young adult's form. It never evolves from that stage. So, what I want to do is say to you that we're not really focused on your music. Nobody is really clamoring to get the next Iggy Azalea stream going. All we remember is Fancy. All I remember is Fancy, to be honest. I can't think of another song that you have done. You're more than a one-hit wonder. I know you have hits. I know, but I just can't remember. I don't really follow you like that. I don't really listen to your music like that. So I know, there are people that will say that there's, legitimacy in your postings, in your words, but at the same time, it just seems like you're grasping for straws. You're just tiptoeing around the edges of the issue. You don't want to fall straight in and say, "Look, I am in full support of Tory Lanez." Then I would show you some respect. I would say, "All right, you're wrong, but I can respect the fact that you're 10 toes down." You said, I'm here to support Tory Lanez completely, without a doubt, no kidding, no ifs, ands, or buts, or maybes. Then I would say, all right, Iggy, I see you. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that at all. You didn't show that in any way, not in any form. You didn't show the fact that your letter, it outlined, basically what, the reason why the judge is going to be sentencing him. And who knows what it's going to be. I said this before. Who knows it's going to be. But you exacerbate the issue by not being direct and clear on your position, saying I'm not, supporting anyone. Like you should be supporting somebody. Support Megan Thee Stallion or support Tory Lanez. It should be either one, either or. There should be no equivocation. There should be no guesswork. There should be no, does she support somebody? Oh yeah, she definitely supports somebody. We don't know. We'll never know. It seems. But you're definitely trending. You're at the top of every of the hip hop sites that I go to. Allhiphop.com, hotnewhiphop.com, and dxhiphop.com. Oh wait a minute, hiphopdx.com. Excuse me. The story is anyway. The story for Tory Lanez is on top of all the major hip hop uh, news rags on the internet. So it just seems to me that you got a lot of growing up to do, you young female. Greg S News. All right, Greg S. All right, J Zone. Respect to both of you, and tell me how you found me. Tell me how you knew I was on online. Did you get a notification? Did something come up on your phone? Did you get something in your mail? Let me know so I can better serve you because I'm talking to Iggy Azalea right now. She hasn't responded yet, but I'm talking to her. I'm talking to her right now. Oh, you got a notification on your phone? Okay. Okay. So, and it looks like one person is in the room, but it looks like two people are actually in the room: J Zone and Greg S. So, goofy YouTube, slow with their system. Okay. Respect. I'm asking you gentlemen to respect the target. If you can't respect the target, at least tell two people. Don't tell three people. Leave the third person in and the wondering, what? Who is this goofy guy? I don't know who it is. Let them know nothing. Let two people know what's up with my show and everything I do. I appreciate that. If you can't do the money side, I'm asking for $40 tonight or today, this afternoon, whatever it is, time, place where you are in the world. I'm asking for that much money, $40. So I think if Greg S and J Zone sending $20 each, I think we'll be in good standing. I appreciate both of you, to be honest, and that's truth, respect. But Iggy is like I said. This might be what you wanted. You probably wanted this. You wanted this publicity. You're probably gonna have a new album out, new stream on the streaming services in the next few weeks, and they're like, yeah, remember she had that thing about the letter? Yeah, I gotta listen to this. Yeah, so maybe that was your whole modus operandi. Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to at least look different from Mr. Troy Star Terrain because we have the same material, we have the same content basically. We talk about the same issues mostly. I switch it up from time to time. I read my fiction. He doesn't have any fiction. Thank goodness. There is no God, but thank God. We have four people in the room so far. If you are in the room, put a one up or put a dollar, put some money up, something. My Cash App is on the screen right now. $ Skylar Saunders. Put it in lowercase 1. So if you're feeling froggy, okay, J Zone's in the building definitely with the one up. I appreciate that. All right. So anyone that is I would appreciate it. Cash App is cool. Cash App is the best. You get a personal account. You don't have to pay taxes. You just get paid money, and you don't have to pay on the taxes. It's wonderful. It's sad for the business account. I think the business account has better leverage or better, analytics and different, in the personal account because I can't see why anyone would want a business account besides that. They must, have it for, a legitimate company or corporation or something like that. That they're an LLC or even an Inc. Whatever the case may be. Greg asked you a fool. No, you can make that call. I'm cool with the IRS. They try to give me money. I've been paid. They said I was getting a check for like $3,000 one time. I was talking to the IRS specialist. He was like, "No, it doesn't look like you're getting 33,000. It looks like you're getting $4,700. $4,700 came to my doorstep, came in the mail, and I cashed that thing so fast, put it in my bank account. It's gone now. I don't know what money comes and goes with me. I can't. It doesn't stick around long. But I subsist and I survive. Like right now, I have 4 figures in the bank account right now. I could go down to 2 figures in the next few weeks. La 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 la. Wait till I get my money right. I'm buying. What am I buying, Greg? You know what? I will answer that question if you put in $5. If you put in $10, I will answer your question, Greg S. I will definitely answer that question. You put in $10, I'll answer that question so quick. But in the meantime, in between time, this is the conclusion to my letter to Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea, you are a white woman, female. I already know. I see Greg S. You are a white female. You enjoy laying down with the Negro male. You have been intertwined in this case for what reason I know not. You sent a letter that you thought was going to be just for the judge, but turned out for the public. You should have had more. You should have had better discernment and judgment in that regard. You should have known better. Your mama should have taught you better. Your parents failed you in that respect. So, going forward, you should be able to understand the legitimacy and the intricacies of the United States court system, the judiciary. It doesn't play. As Tory Lanez has noticed, he's locked up behind bars as a convict. So he's definitely he's definitely definitely making something that has caused. It said that they're supposed to have the sentencing yesterday, actually. He's still locked up. He's still locked up, and you're patronizing him. You're facilitating him. Okay, it sounds a little choppy in the UK. Thank you, J Zone. I'm not sure the reason why. Maybe I need to get a little closer. Is that better? Let me know. If it still sounds choppy, just let me know, and I'll do the adjustments. But signing off, Iggy. Look, you got plenty of time to live and grow, lady, female, woman, whatever. You got plenty of time to grow. You got plenty of time to grow up and understand, what the United States, you're Australian, what the United States courts say. A little different from Australian. So you have to understand the court system as well as the prison system and what Tory Lanez faces. And for you to flourish and to be, productive in this game, you should focus more on your music, not on convicted criminals who have done heinous crimes. And that's all I got to say for you. Thank you very much for that. If it still sounds choppy, let me know. Put a one up, Jason, if it's choppy. Um, I'm broadcasting. Okay, sounds better. Okay, I'm broadcasting live from Newark, Delaware. So that's amazing that I have a reach to somebody all the way in the UK. That's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. Somebody that is a supporter. I need for that. I'm looking for that money though. Okay, I'm looking for. Okay, it looks like J Zone and Greg S are in the chat room, and I only see one person in my person my viewers say now it's up to two. See, it goes back and forth. But if you guys just tip in $10 and then tell two other people to chip in $10, we'll be set. I wouldn't have to ask for money. Not today anyway. I'll be asking money for every day. I'm putting you over and not shaking you and making your wallet and your change and your cash pour out your pockets. That's what I'm doing. I'll get your money after I win Mega Millions tonight. All right, Greg S. Thanks for that. I like your trolling. You have good troll skills. I like that. You put the troll in controller. Very good trolling. All right, but now I'm on my lonely. I'm on solo dolo for Delph. This is a whole half an hour dedicated to my story, Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. That is my story. It's about searching. It's about reading. It's about understanding. That's what the whole story is about. That's what it's about. It's about this young man named Green Stockwell, and he has a child. He has a child with his wife Gambina. They have a little boy, and he's the color of color of a ham, like just pinkish, kind of brownish, and he's just a little guy. He's just a little, infant, a newborn. But just as quickly as he came into this world, he is brought, a world of, misunderstanding and confusion in a sense. There's, this undertone of, not knowing exactly what he is or who he is or what he's about, and it just seems like the parents are befuddled. They don't know what to do with him. They don't know how to deal. The mother has a clue, but she's just so taken aback by the words that come out of Green Stockwell's mouth that she has a sense of not knowing. But he uses his mind to let him know what is possible, what is available to him. He goes to the library. He goes to his grandmother's house. He goes to his philosophy teacher. And that's the whole point of the story. The whole point of the story is searching, is finding, is discovering. It's a short story, but it could be part of a larger story. It's just chapter one of a GAN. GAN stands for Great American Novel. And that's what I've written. A chapter one of the Great American Novel. That's what I'm on right now. That's the wave. This fictionalized story is called a roman à clé, or a story with a key. And that key is fictional characters made from actual people. That's what it is. That's what I've fashioned it to be. It's called Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. And so for many people, that may be a mouthful, but once you type it in on vocal.media, it'll pop right up and you'll be able to read it. I have artwork, from that's on this broadcast as well as on other on that platform as well. Greg S., I like your questions. Your questions are great. You have good questions, but you're not putting any money behind them. So I don't know why you keep asking questions. You can keep asking all you want. I'm not gonna stop you. You have the freedom, and it's a live chat. But I'm not answering unless I get a cash app from you. Uh, that's all it is. That's everybody. J Zone, everybody who has a question has to have some money to back it up. Then I'll answer it. All right. Searching, searching. That is the whole point of this story. That's what I want to make the whole novel about. Searching for identity, for one's own sense of identity, for one's own, or the other's identity, as in Stockwell and his son. See who his son actually is, or who he will grow up to be. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. Greg S., you ask a question and you still haven't put up any money. You should know why. I'm just going to say, ask a question, put up the money, then we can talk. We can't talk without the money because money talks and bullshit walks. All right. You can, hey, Greg S., just look at, all I can say is the questions to your answers are all found online. That's all I can say. I'm not going to give you a direct answer. Now, with this story, this is a story that has been, bouncing back and forth in my brain for a long time, and it just happened to just flow out, like I've said so many times, because I know what the imagery is in my head. I can see the structure of the work. I can see the interchanging. Yes, salute. Salute to Angie Cooper. The target for today is $40. And thank you for answering his question, because I'm not going to answer it. he can ask all these questions as he wants. I'm not answering one of his questions. And Angie Cooper, just say, yeah, that's all right. See, that's cool. I'll take a small donation. You don't have to do the whole 40. It's all good. I just need at least 10, 20. I'm looking for 40 the whole broadcast. But if you can only do 5, 10, 15, let that be you, and I'll support you. If you have a channel or a website, I'll put in. Okay, Greg asked, you are definitely trolling. You're on the troll patrol. You are on the troll patrol. You are trolling like a madman. I have to respect it though. You're not disrespecting anybody yet. You're getting close to it, but I've seen that you're pretty genuine in your way, so I appreciate it. Angie Cooper, how did you find out about my live chat? May I ask? How did you know that this channel was live? Angie Cooper, please let me know. I like this just to see for research. But back to the story. Back to the lecture at hand. Story is about searching for identity. It's a classic tale. Finding oneself or finding another. The father is trying to find the son's identity. He's trying to find out who he is and what he's about, and his course in life and history. Okay, thank you, Angie. But how did you know I was on right now? Did you subscribe to my channel and it popped up on as a notification? Is that what happened? Let me know, please. I'm still waiting for that small donation because I can see it. I have a screen right here that shows the definition and notification. Okay, great. Thank you, Angie. And I'm still waiting for. Give me 1 minute. Okay, take your time. Take your time. You're in no rush. There's no rush. We're having a good show today. I was talking to Iggy Azalea. Now I'm talking about my story. You can say whatever you want, Greg ass. I'm not going to kick you out. I'm not going to, you know, report you or do something goofy like that. I'm gonna allow you to get your shine on with your trolling capabilities. But just know you're not getting an answer from me unless you put up some money. That's all I know. But all right, identity. You know, we have so many identities. Who are we? Especially, you know, if you're black right now or Native American. Those are the top names for people. Of people that have been called black, colored, African American, Negro, nigger, so many different names for one class of people. Then you have Native American, you have tribal, you have uh, Indian, you have red, you have so many different names just to get a people. What is their identity? That is the question. I'm not a black man personally. Personally, I'm a man of color who happens to live in America. But I know when the cops stop me, stop, and I'm in the, the car, and I have to get out, and I have to have my hands up. They're not going to say, "Oh, this is a man of color that happens to live in America." They're going to say, "Black boy, put your hands in the air." That's what they're going to say. That's identity. That's the identity crisis that we live with. The one that you know and hold on to doesn't make a difference when it comes to certain situations, like I just said. So it only makes sense that people, get to a point where they can understand themselves through understanding what they are not. If you say you're not something, then it means you're something. And also, same thing with, light skinned people or fair people, fair African Americans. They're octoroon or quadroon or, high yellow or red bone or yellow bone or so many different things. That's colorism. And then black people. Black is nightstick, kettle, pot, stovepipe. You get all kinds of different ways of saying it. So that's part of the identity of the black experience in America. And everything is just, there's so many things that are said that are really in contention with each other. When you have people that are, black, they don't realize that the word nigger comes from the word Niger or negro or anything like that. Just means black. It doesn't have any negative connotation. It didn't have a negative connotation until the late 18th century. That's the first time it had a negative connotation. Prior to that, it was all about just saying that somebody's black, just some darker skin. It didn't have a negative connotation whatsoever. But the connotation, I think it goes back, and you'll find this in the story, and this is already published in the ancient book, the Bible, Ham and Canaan. They're also contention with both Ham and Canaan, but they say descendants of Ham or Canaan are of darker skin, and they've been cursed with that dark skin. So that has been brought through to the Mormons and the Church of Latter-day Saints. They don't appoint, or they had a point in history, especially in America, where they did not appoint higher ranking officials within the church that were black or dark skinned. That's facts. You can look that up. That's facts. That's something that's just truth. That's something that has weight to it, validity. There's so many different ways that's been true. They oppose interracial marriage. They said righteous black people will be made white after death, and that's something that always confounded me. You know, that's something that always made me wonder. Why people would say, he washed me. Jesus, mainly black people, and within the Baptist and Methodist churches, especially the Protestant churches, they would say, he washed me, uh, my black sin away, and with his red blood, and now I'm white as snow. So why you want to be white as snow? Who said that sin was black? What if it's white too? What if sin is white? Who said that sin had to be black? And that's the psychological hold that is put on people of this color. They they take it into their minds to say that they're lesser before they even get a chance to say that they're a human being. They say that black sin is something that should be looked at as evil, and that the red blood of Jesus washes away and you become white. How sad is that? How sick is that psychologically? I mean, I remember singing songs about it. I was in the choir. Hint, hint. This is probably going to be coming down the pike, in other stories. But I sang songs. He washed me white as snow. I can't sing, so don't think. I just roll with the harmony of the choir. So I'm not going to sing here, but he, he washed me whiter than snow, like that. So why would you want to be white as snow? I still want to know. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I still want to know. Why do you want to be white? Why would anybody want to be white that's not white? Just be themselves. And again, I don't hold it against them. If you want to be like Sammy Sosa or, you know, um, somebody like that, that's fine. And if you want to be black, like Rachel Dolezal, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that either. But the problem is that you being one way and not understanding the reason why you want to be another. That's the question. That's the misunderstanding that we all have, I think, when it comes to, parts of mysticism or faith and what it means to be a person. Your phone died? Phone died. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you're back. So what are you on the laptop now, Angie? You on a MacBook or a PC? Can you get to the Cash App? Can you, I'm still waiting on you, Angie. I got it right here. Oh, iPhone. Okay, you're on iPhone. Oh, so you just plug it. You're charging up now. Okay, understood. Understood. That's understood. Greg S is on a tear. He is on a tear. Greg S is definitely on a tear. But back to what I was saying, identity. That is one of the hallmarks. That was one of the key moments of Toni Morrison's book, The Song of Solomon. Making dead. He goes on a journey, a personal journey to discover himself. I've only read a few pages, so I'm just giving you a brief summary of what it is. But it's about self discovery as well. It's about understanding the truth of your own being and why you are what you are in this world, and the reasons why we were born on days like this. Thank you. I think that's who you are. I'm just gonna read the last part of the word, the word condo. I'm just reading the last part. Condo. That's you, Angie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Great. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Appreciate everything I get. So don't think that I'm just taking it for granted. I do appreciate your viewership and your ability to share with two people and let the third one guess about it. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Back to ruler of the kingdom of the air. This is a reference to the Bible, the same book that I was raised up on for 16 years, from 3 to 19. From 3 years old to 19 years old, I knew what it meant to be a Christian. I knew about the baptism. I was deep in the church. Let me tell you how deep in the church I was. Okay, so this is how deep you get. First, you got to get you have to be a member. Then you have to be baptized. Then you go to new members classes. Then you have to be chosen to be a part of the choir. Then you have to be on the choir. Then you have to be voted to be president of the choir. That's me. I was president of the choir. That's what happens. That's how it occurs. That's where we get our founding from, really. Ask any, gospel singers, of course, but even secular singers. Where they get started? At the church. Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, so many others. Jennifer Holiday, Hudson, probably Jennifer Holiday too. But it's classic. They get their start from being in the church, and it's like I said, I was deep. I was reading the Bible. I was going to Sunday school. I was going to Bible study, and I got this from everywhere. I got it from when I was with my mom over the summers. She's gone on to Jesus now. There is no God, but and there is no Jesus in heaven. He's in the grave right now. Um, he, I learned, by way of hatred, the ancient scrolls of the Bible and how they stacked up the books of the law, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Numbers, different things like that. We had to go to school Sunday morning worship every Sunday. Every Sunday, didn't matter if it was with my dad or with my mother. And the preacher, he said the same thing over and over every single Sunday. And on the third day, he rose from the grave with all power in his hands. He was the same thing at her funeral, at my mom's funeral. He rose from the grave on Sunday with all power in his hands. Same thing every Sunday. He's doing it right now. I'm sure. I haven't been to that church in 12 years, but I imagine he still has that same. He's still doing it. He's doing it. But I digress. It takes a lot to know what you're about and who you're about and your intentions. My parents' intentions was for me to be a good Christian man and to carry on the traditions of the word. That didn't happen. When I was 19 years old, I committed myself to the works and the words of the late Miss Ayn Rand and also Troy Star Terrain. They combined together. They coalesced into something that was completely unprecedented and what probably made my dad upset. But what probably if my mother knew about it, I didn't. That's what's so great about reality is that there's no mystical revelation to let you know that somebody is one way or the other. And I was an atheist, a non-believer in the theory of God, and that took a toll. And that's what goes back to the story. The story goes back to saying, how the scriptures, they point to one thing, but they also point to something else. And the journey that the father goes on, Stockwell, he has to continue to be, you know, on the driving force. He has to be the driving force to better understand who his son actually is, based on the words of the brother-in-law, Malik. And he, at one point is very, vociferous and very vocal, about, him not being able to stand, step on his ground, step on, around his property, and he sends him on his way. But at the same time, he took it for a minute and like, well, wait a minute, he might be right. There is something to this, and he goes to he explains this, but the idea is still there that he still has to discover. He still has to find out. He still has to make a way to be who he wants to be. He wants to understand the way of what it means to be complete, to know oneself, to non-self own self be true. Who said that in Shakespeare? Who said that? I'll give you 10 seconds. And it was in Hamlet. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Polonius. Polonius said that in Hamlet. So that is, that carries on. And that's a cliche, but it was original for one time about 400 years ago, 500 years ago. Maybe 400 years ago. I think of it, but that is what I'm talking about. That's what is so true. And so, what manifests is the fact that people don't take seriously faith. They do what my dad calls religious. Most people are religious. They go through the routine. They get up. They get dressed in the best they can. And they go to the church. They listen to the word. They listen to the songs. And they go home, and that's it. That's religion. Some people are faith based. Some people really know God and have the idea of God in their whole soul and their spirit. And I don't mean that mystically. I just mean that in their mind. They have that in their mind. They have that in their whole entire being, and they know who they are and what they are in the name of this unknown and unknowable force, or that would be force. So I'm just, a vessel. No, I'm I'm somebody who can say with certainty that I'm on the right track, and that once you read this story, you'll better understand it. Let me make sure I put that in the live chat because there's two people in here. I think is it Angie and Greg? 'Cause both have been trading back and forth. I like how Angie's egging Greg because Greg is trying to troll. He's trying to get his troll, and I would really appreciate it if you sent some money. Angie sent some money. Greg, you didn't send it at all. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Make sure you read it, Angie. Make sure you share it. Not just read it, but you share it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I You didn't ask the question, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, Greg ass. You can be broke all you want. You can get out of here if you want, cause I don't take people that are broke. Angie sent money. She sent money. Angie definitely sent cash. She sent money right here to my account. So I appreciate what she did right there. You haven't sent jack squat. You haven't sent anything. So you share, yeah. I would like to see receipts on that. I like to see, the people that you send it to and see what their reactions are, because the data that I received doesn't match what you just said. So, but hey, we're past the hour mark. I wanted to get to at least five viewers that were live. So thank you, J Zone, and also J Zone. If you are respectful, and I appreciate you for not being a super troll like Greg S, which I allow him to be because he's still a supporter to some extent. He's not a money supporter. And Greg and J Zone, you didn't support through money today either. So respect to Angie Cooper. Give her all the respect for putting down at least a few dollars. Target not met. The target was not met. $5. That's proof right there. Thank you, Angie. No, eh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I see you saying you're welcome. All right, I'm out here. It was a good show. I think I was talking to Iggy Azalea, straight up open letter. She wanted to write letters, so I wrote her a letter. So I appreciate everybody that was in the chat room. Angie, Greg, J Zone. I think that's it for today. Okay, so I respect everybody that came in, especially Angie who dropped $5 for me. I appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care.